Hello there, Hearts. This is a report on one of the more interesting fights that happened uh, during the week. On Thursday, April 23rd, at the UFC Fight Pass, a I bet a number of fights. The fight that I will address is the fight between Jason Maloney, 23, 20 at the time, 28, 4 and was there a draw? No, I don't believe so. And with 20 kilos against a Sugar Dre Alexander Donovan, appropriately an Irishman, a black man with an Irish name, 12, 2, and 0 with 8 kilos. Well, the Australians and certain pundits said quite honestly that Mr. Loney would take apart the American. The American Dre had fought a number of fights and was had quite a heavy, large percentage of knockouts. Had never been knocked out himself, although he had lost decisions. They propagated that he would be slowly taken apart by Miss Maloney because of the great experience. I know Maloney, among his victories, not victories, his losses, but a gallant loss against it's a Japanese fellow. Ergo. Anyway, he's a good boxer puncher, good jab, good fight inside, or a good fighter. But I felt the American, my fellow countryman, would be a good bet to upset the apple cart, if you will. Yes, it was a good fight. And the American stood up and with movement and aggression and a mix of boxing and punching and becoming elusive at times and also very aggressive, he made the fight quite um, competitive, which actually worked in my favor in terms of my betting. It put me at the edge of my little seat, or my big butt on my little seat. And it's a great fight. Right to the end, I thought the American maybe pull it off. But alas, the Australian won. And I didn't make my big parlay, among other fights. I had a variety of fights in both. But the memory at my age gives way and becomes a blur except for the main event. Anyway, this was an excellent fight. There are a bunch of excellent fights coming on Saturday the 25th. I tried to report them as brilliantly as I'm doing now. Moloney is a good fighter. 35 years old, has some road wheels on him. What they call that? Miles, yes. And the American, Mr. Sugar. Well, he is future. He's in his 20s still. Showed a great deal of promise, and he had been fighting um, well, a certain level of fighters that had been up to par. But he will be able to mix it in if he doesn't allow this defeat to demoralize him. Sometimes boxers tend to do that. Unlike MMA fighters who bounce back from defeat, and also their audience doesn't lament. 1, 2 defeats don't mean MMA fighters through. Just means he is a setback because there's so many ways you can be defeated in MMA. Yes, so many ways. Anyway, that's all I have to say. It was a good fight. I almost won some money. I bet on both sides, of course, but the money I bet with Mahoney winning was insignificant cents as opposed to lots of money. Actually, in all my parlay, I actually won every fight except the main event. But I was always picking the favorites. No, one fight was a draw, but that you don't. It doesn't ruin your parlay. Yeah. Anyway, I said enough. I'm waking up. I took an orange juice and coffee. I'm quite awake. Maybe I'll examine these other fights. Yes. Anyway, good luck. See you at the ballot box. The betting box. Oh, let me see. Um, hold the pickle, hold the lettuce. Special orders don't upset us. All we ask is for you to have it your way.